that was the confirmation for me to show that we're on the right track. And I'm going to kind of navigate in between on this morning as well and dabble in a few spaces and give you some more essentials concerning leadership, because I believe it's going to open up your understanding on what God has you doing in this season, why he has you doing what you're doing in this season, and why you're reaping the type of fruit you're reaping. If we can come, guys, let's come in a little closer. I want us to get out of the habit of always going to the back of everything. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I'm talking to all y'all. Now, if you're there, Antoinette, with the baby, and you need the baby because of that, that's fine. That's fine. But let's come in. I've noticed, guys, that sometimes in the back we get too distracted. We're able to talk and we're able to engage in other things. We play on our phones. We do all of that. And again, that's your prerogative if that's what you choose to do. So I'm in no wise going against that. But if you truly come here because you want an impartation, I'm going to need your undivided attention, okay? Y'all ain't saying that, okay? All right, thank you. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, again, and we're going to look at verse 18. It's on the screen. While we look not at the things which are seen, someone say visible, but the things which are not seen, say invisible. Say, for the things which are visible. I tripped you up that time, didn't I? I know. Things which are visible or say are temporary. Say, but the things which are invisible, they are sustainable. They are eternal. So here's what I want you to see, that managing the visible things are simply the thing that you can do sometimes as second nature without any great effort or without maximum effort. You can do it with minimum effort. You can learn how to do it. You can do it through routine. You can do it through religiosity. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Knowing that you have to be here at 8 o'clock. You come here. Knowing that you are on a particular ministry or auxiliary, and there are specific things that we do as a preparatory phase for worship. You get those things together. There are people right now that's getting their tables together for the taste of the ministry that we're getting ready to have. These things are visible things. And these things are things we can learn to do through routine. But here's the reality, they're temporary. We won't have taste of the ministry every Sunday, but we're having one today. But there are some things that we will continue to operate in that's germane to every aspect of your life, whether you're in leadership in ministry or leadership in marketplace, whether you lead in your family or whether you lead in your community. There are some things that literally will encompass every aspect of leadership. And no matter who you are, let me say this parenthetically, you are leading somebody. You may not have the title, but somebody's looking at you. And somebody is expecting, I just told somebody this last night, somebody is expecting you to win so they will know they don't have to lose. And when you understand that responsibility and you don't see it as a burden, but you see it as a privilege, it makes you want to walk more circumspectly in front of them. It makes you want to be an example that they can model themselves after. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, so then therefore, when the rubber meets the road based upon what I have shared, here's what I'm trying to say to you. You got to be concerned about people. You got to be concerned about what people think about you. You've got to be concerned about how you handle people. You've got to be concerned about what it is you're saying to people, because leadership, say this with me, I said it last Sunday, say leadership is about people. So watch this. If you are a misanthrope, does anybody know what that means? $5 word, 5-cent meaning. Who knows what it means? Misanthrope. A misanthrope is somebody who hates people. And we got a lot of misanthropes in ministry. And you have the nerve to say stuff like, I don't like to be bothered with people. Then why are you in leadership? You are a cancer. You are literally a problem, and not in a good way. Oh, she a problem. No, not that kind of problem. You are a problem. How is it you have been given a leadership position and promotion on your job, but you say, I don't like to fool with people? Really? And you wonder why you are not elevating above where you are, or you're frustrated where you are, or you can't seem to fit or gel where you are, because you are a walking conundrum. Am I helping you already? And so what we have to do is fall in love with people so we can fall in love with our purpose. Because your purpose is connected to people. Now, let me help you, because here's the thing. Most of you are not misanthropic. Most of you just don't like certain ways that people have. Am I correct? Well, guess what you don't think about? They don't like your ways either. And what you have to do is start thinking about what folk got to put up with you. And when you understand that, it'll make you more easily put up with other folk. Okay, you didn't like that one, okay? Because I don't even deal with that. I don't do nothing to nobody. All right, then I got you. What about the stuff God puts up with that you never change? Baby, I need you to sit up, unfold your arm, act like you want to be in my class, okay? I know. I ain't tripping, but the way you all like that, like, come on, that's it. All right. So here it is. What you got to do is get to a point and get to a place, and let me say this, because I don't want the enemy to think I was trying to embarrass you, baby, because I'm not, all right? I'm not. Get to a point and get to a place where you ask God, help me to deal with personalities so I can learn how to manage. When was the last time you prayed, God, help me to be a better person so I can become a people person? When have you ever prayed a people prayer? I shudder to say most of us never have, but yet we're in the people business. Do you see? And do you see why our capacity for people never is extended or elongated? Because guess why, in an unconscious way, most of us think we're in ministry and leadership? Because of us. You know why? Because God chose you. Can you agree? I mean, let's be honest. You wouldn't do this on your own, would you? It's something compelling you to do this. Am I correct? And because there is a compelling, there is a calling, there's a conditioning that he personally takes you through, positions he puts you in, it will make you become so self-absorbed, you'll think it's about you, when it's never about you. Everything you're going through, everything you're assigned to do is always about somebody else. Because God needs a model in you so someone else can see you and know there's hope for them. Put 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 on the screen. Do you guys remember on last week when I said your spiritual growth is not solely your responsibility? You know how that challenged your thinking? You're like, oh, Doc, Bible said work out your own soul salvation, which that ain't what it's talking about. That's out of context. But no, Bishop, I got to study myself. God don't study for me. No, Bishop, I got to read myself. God don't read for me. Well, I could actually contend with you on that. Because if you study only, you'd never understand it. When you study, the Spirit has to illuminate it. So it's still partnership. Well, I pray by myself. Then I come to intercessory prayer. No, you don't. Because the Bible says you know not what to pray for or as you ought, but the Spirit himself makes intercession for you. So even while you moving your mouth, saying crazy stuff, half sleep, ain't really praying, nodding off, waking back up, the Spirit said, let me help this fool. Am I helping you? So I'm trying to get you to see something, that you can't do anything by yourself. You need the Spirit of God to help you. And likewise, that's why you're in leadership, so your life can be a help to somebody else. Who have you been helping lately? Can I get antithetical? Who have you been hurting lately? Because if you ain't been helping, Guess what you've been doing by default? Hurting. No, Bishop, I don't bother nobody. Unless they bother me. We ain't even talking about that. I'm saying when you fail to show up, when you fail to give 100%, when you get in your feelings, when you operate in the flesh, when you don't give your best, somebody then is hurt by your example because you're in leadership. And if nobody's following you, you're not a leader. Okay, I heard you in the spirit. That's why I said, that's why I don't be calling myself no leader, because I know I ain't really where I need to be. And I don't want to lead nobody astray. Grow up. That's immature. It's immature, and it's an excuse for you never wanting to take responsibility for your inadequacies. Am I helping y'all still? Is this real leadership right now? Okay, so I want you to look at this. There is no temptation that is what? Now, what does that word temptation mean? Just take a stab. Take a stab. Okay, watch this. Let me go to another scripture. The Bible says in James that God tempted no man with evil. But yet the Bible says there's no temptation that has taken you, but such as is common to man. All right? What is that? Okay, temptation here refers to a test, not somebody seductively trying to allure you away. A test. It means something that's pressuring you, that's trying to prove your durability and your authenticity. You got it? There are going to be tests and trials that God subjects you to in order for you to grow into a better you. Because again, your spiritual growth is his responsibility more so than it's yours. Now, that's why I opened up, and that's why y'all still been kind of looking at me crazy, because you've been wanting me to clarify that. Let me clarify it for you. B, you're too fickle. Deshalia, you're too up and down. Rasby, you are too sometime. Jenkins, you are too lazy. That's why I called my name, because y'all start thinking I'm really talking about y'all. We cannot be trusted with our spiritual growth. Can I prove it to you? You hardly study now. Woo! You hardly pray now. And if that was the sole way you grow, you would still be in Pampers spiritually. But what he does, because he can't trust us with that, he let tests come. He let bills get due. He let sickness come in your body. He let people betray you. He let you get fired. He let you be in an accident. He lets you lose what you had. He puts obstacles in here, he allows obstacles to come in your way. And notice, guys, my phraseology is purposeful because I don't want you to think that God does this stuff to you. He loves you too much for that, but he removes the hedge to let it happen. He allows it because he understands you won't grow without. But the problem with us is that when it happens, instead of us getting the lesson out of it to become a better me so I can be a better model, I ultimately become galvanized in my state of isolation, and I do my best to do something to be sustained in the chaos. And sometimes I will even make the chaos my normalcy. Say this with me. Say, the goal is not to survive. The goal is to shift. Dr. Pam, I don't want to get used to chaos. I don't want to put lipstick on a pig and say I got a woman. I don't want to dress up my chaos and learn how to survive in it. I want to shift out of it. But when I shift out of it, I want to do it in a way where I can become a model for somebody else to know they don't have to stay in theirs. I was talking to Pastor Clark the other day. I said, I'm not stupid. I got so many folk waiting for me to fail. You and I believe this. This is true. This is true. I got folk waiting for me to gain all my weight back. And that's been over 10 years. But they want it. I have people who are looking for me not to succeed in the things that I strive to do. But then there's another demographic that wants me to win so they can know they got a model of a winner. Which is why no matter what I go through, no matter how I'm feeling, you know, my mantra is I'm winning. And you know why I have to win? Because I don't ever want you to lose. And I want you to see that regardless of what you're in, you don't have to succumb to it. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tested above that which ye are what? Your test will never be beyond capacity. Okay, let me say it again. Your test will never be beyond capacity. What did you hear in that? Anybody? Won't be too hard for you. Anybody else? You'll be able to stand it. Won't put it on you that you can't bear. Ability to sustain. Be sustained? Okay. I'm going to say it one more time. I want you to listen. You'll never be tested above capacity. You said bandwidth, huh? Okay. Okay. Got it. Please go ahead, baby. Good night. So it never go above your limits. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone else? Listen to me closely. You'll never be tested above capacity. It was not a mistake. I purposely omitted the possessive personal pronoun your. I never said your capacity. You're going to always be tested above your capacity. And Cam, what you said is what most of us have been taught all our lives. God will never give you more than you can handle, which is the biggest lie ever been told. Anybody who's ever worked out in the gym before understands you've got to operate in what they call progressive overload, and you've got to have time under tension. And let me put it in layman's terms. And you have to work beyond your capacity to tear down your muscles, get in hypertrophy in order for your muscles to build back up. Same thing in the natural, in the spiritual. If you always handle stuff that you can handle, go through stuff that you can carry, if you would, how would you ever grow? It's got to be too much for you. So, Bishop, now you've contradicted yourself. No, I didn't, because I never said it was beyond God's capacity. Watch this. So capacity is a combination of the grace God gives me and the God that's in me. He and I handle what I go through. Just like you look at me when I go through it, he walks with me while I go through it. So say this with me. Say, God will always give me more than I can handle, just so he can help me handle what I've been given. Why would you ever call him if you could handle it? Why would you ever pray if you can handle it? Why would you ever cry out if it wasn't too much for you? It's supposed to be too much for you so you can grow. With the temptation, also will make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear it. The way out of it is through it. That's the only way. And some of us keep going through the same cycles because we keep trying to go around instead of going through. Say this with me, and I want you to prophesy to yourself. Say, the way out of this one is through it. Now watch this. When I come through it, would you stand for me, daughter, if you would, please? When I come through it, I told you I'm being prophetic. Y'all stay with me. Put Luke 22:30 on the screen. And I may have you scroll a little bit because I have to find That's the specific placement. But it is Luke 22. Come be God real quick. Go just today. Go down to 29. Let me see. Okay. Scroll all the way back. As a matter of fact, let me try real quick because I can probably get it faster. It is Luke 22. Do you guys remember when Jesus told Peter that Satan wanted to sift him as wheat? Okay, got it. It is in 32. 32. Luke 22, 32. All right, watch this. But I have what? Prayed for thee. Now, if we look at this from a humanistic perspective, Ricky, it would seem like Jesus was on his knees in his prayer closet praying that Rasby would make it through. When you do that, you're bringing him down to a human form and level. That's not what this means. In this particular context, it's saying he's interceding. The same thing that's said in Romans 8:26, but that level of intercession is not what we do in here. Real intercession, let me give you an illustration. Real intercession is not what we think. Here is what we think intercession is in the natural, standing in between. You got it? So now I'm a stand in between, so whatever over here can't get to him over there. Are we on the same page? But here is real intercession. Real intercession is not praying for you. Real intercession is becoming you and praying for you as if I am you. That's what Jesus is saying. But what I've done, because you got to understand, go back to verse 31. I didn't really want to do this, but the way y'all look, y'all made me do this. Simon, Simon. In the Hebrew, because he's talking to Peter, but he's calling him Simon. He calls his Hebrew name on purpose because Simon, also interpreted Cephas, means to hear. He's saying, hear this, hear this. Satan had desired to have you. Anybody got a paper Bible with you? Thank you, Elder. Elder, will you look at Luke 22 and 31? Anybody else got one? Okay. Thank you, Sergeant. Come on. That's my sergeant. Luke 22, 31. Oh, Lord. That's holy right there. Man, when the last time you heard that? I love it. Come on. I love it. Elder Deal is paper Bible saved. She ain't no iPhone saved. What does it say, son? Come on. So watch this. Do you notice some words that's italicized? Do you see it? You know, italicized mean they kind of slanted. I said italicized. He said Italian. Man, it's English. Okay, listen. Come on. Do you see that? Okay. Which words are italicized?
I don't have none italicized on this one.
It's not italicized in there?
No, sir. Okay.
Well, I want you to see this. And what translation is that? What Bible? In the King James, it's italicized, okay? Here's how to read in the King James. Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, sift you as wheat. That he may, that's out. Let me tell you why. Because sift you as wheat is a Jewish idiom. They understand what it means. Remember, the Bible was written to us, but for them. To them, but for us. And so they understand it. Sift you as wheat was an idiom for a process of being tested. Because wheat had to, first of all, it had to be harvested from the ground. All right? You had to get the sickle to cut it. You got it? And the sickle had to be a cutting, which was a severing from the environment it had become conditioned to. It had to be taken from that, and then they had to put it in the fire. And then after putting it in the fire, they had to, I'm ahead of myself, they had to put it on the threshing floor. The threshing floor is when it's just beat and just beat and just beaten, because there's some separation going on. And then after that threshing floor, they took it and they literally would sieve it. Remember the old school sifters when your grandmama and mama made biscuits? But it wasn't like that. It was something that they would shake. Okay? But watch this. Before the sieving or the shifting, they took what was called a winnowing fork and threw it up in the air. And every impurity and shape that was with it fell and separated itself, and now the wheat is in its purest form. When he says this, he's telling Peter, this is everything the devil told me he want to do to you. He want to cut you. He want to separate you from the environment you've been conditioned to grow in. He wants to get you out of your growth environment. I'm prophesying and you don't hear me. He wants to get you out of your growth environment. I'm prophesying and you don't hear me. He wants to send somebody to cut you so deep that it makes you want to leave your place where you grow. Because he's trying to shake some stuff up in you. And he's trying to ultimately, prematurely get you out of place. He said, but before you start crying, let me tell you what I've done. I prayed for you. I put myself in your place. And I didn't even tell him no, I'm showing him no. Because I want him to come. Now watch this. Here is what's amazing. Go to verse 32. Because I just gave you a false narrative in your mind, not because I did it purposely, but because you went ahead of me and assumed something. That thy faith fail not. Clark, do you remember this? Around 1999, I preached that one word after and. When. Let me tell you why that word is important. That adverb is so prophetic because it says he didn't stop it. No, I want you to look at it. He could have stopped. He never said, I won't let Satan do it. He said, I'm just going to be here so your faith don't fail. But when? In other words, on the other side of it, because you going through it. Because if you don't go through it, you won't grow. I gotta let you go through it, but watch this though. But I prayed for you. So now I'm in it as if I am you. Come on, Satan. Come on. You don't know you Satan. Well, you know now, Satan. So watch this. So now here comes Satan, trying to do exactly what he said, trying to sift him as wheat. He ain't stopping him, but he's walking through it with him. And every time he swings, he can't hit nothing. Every time he tries to touch him, he can't hit nothing. But then every now and then, he'll hit you. But when he starts getting the best of you, because this is about growth. He's trying to groom me and he's trying to grow me. But let me tell you why he's trying to. Now, you ain't Satan no more. You are another believer, okay? Oof. Watch this. When you are converted, here is what I need you to do. Act like you grow up. You've grown up. Act like you just came out of something and you better. Act like you're more mature. And here is how I'm going to know, because you're going to go over there and strengthen your brother. You never go through anything for you, but you go through everything for somebody else. And if you don't learn how to stay in the fire so you can grow, you'll never have the wherewithal to help somebody else get out of what they're in. And if you ain't doing that, why are you having a title? if all you do is go off on people, if all you do is find ways to avoid conflict, if all you do is find ways to avoid issues with people, why are you in leadership? Thank you so much. Say, this ain't about me. This is about us. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, this is about both of us. So I want you to go back now, because again, don't even ask me why the Lord had me do all that, but I need to bring you where I am now. Bring you where I am. Did I say where I am? Bring you where I am. I want you to come back and let's look at leadership bandwidth, okay? Remember, we have told you for consecutive weeks that leadership bandwidth is the capacity to handle competing responsibilities without collapse. Now, for those of you who've been here, you know I specifically named them. We're talking spiritual responsibilities. We're talking emotional responsibilities. We're talking physical responsibilities. We're talking mental responsibilities. And it also includes burdens. It's your ability to handle competing burdens without burning out and without collapsing. Would you be honest for a moment? Have you been at a place of collapse in this season? It's okay. Have you felt that collapsing spirit lurking around your house during 2025 that was supposed to be your greatest year? Come on, y'all. Parenthetically, let me say this. Although we're still reaping the blessing of the year of double grace, for those that did not know, from Monday to Wednesday on last week, we shifted into a new Hebraic year. We're no longer in 5785, we're in 5786. And there's one letter that changed, and that letter, of course, is 6 in the Hebraic or the gematria, which gives numerical and alpha value to the alphabet. It gives symbols and it gives prophetic revelation, and the letter is Vav, and it means connection. This is going to be a year of connection, which means you cannot be in isolation in this season. You can't win by yourself in this season, which is why I have to harp on this like I am, because the enemy has fooled you into thinking you don't need nobody. And I'm not talking about give me $5. I'm not talking about pick me up and take me somewhere. Anybody can do that. I'm talking about having genuine relationship that can survive conflict. Genuine relationship that can conquer chaos, where you're in such covenant connection together until you understand you're with me as an assignment and not just an ally. And we will fulfill the assignment. This connection in Vav in the Hebraic, it speaks to there being a hand that's reached down, descending from heaven as divinity. And there is a hand of humanity reaching up, because in biblical numerics, the number 6 is the number of man. So it's supposed to be a divine portal where heaven makes an open manifestation and connection to the earth. That's the year you're in. Say, we're in the year of divine connection. Say, we're in the year of supernatural connection. Say, I won't miss my connecting flight in this season. Now, you're really going to think I'm trying to be super spiritual, but I'm being prophetic. I want you to understand that's why there's so much chaos in the airlines now, and why everybody's missing their connect. Watch this. That's why the tariffs have frustrated your connects. Because there is a grace for divine connection. And we've entered into that particular time. And it's going to be essential that we understand that. Now, anytime you find yourself, stay with me, and I want you to really get this, in a place where you feel like you said you've been feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you're burdened, feeling like you're burnt out, about to collapse, there is a bandwidth issue somewhere. Sometimes what we do is take up on us stuff we're not graced to do. But then other times, what we do is we don't perfect what we've been called to do, And we then don't have the capacity to do it because we don't perfect it, or we don't build our muscles spiritually and grow into it. And we get upset thinking God has put more on us than we're able to bear. No, you just didn't handle business so you can be in a place to bear it. Am I still helping you? But then there's a third reality. Sometimes the reason I'm collapsing is because I was never meant to hold it by myself. But because I grew up in environments that robbed me of my identity, that warped my sense of security, that almost totally eradicated my esteem, raped me of my self-awareness, told me I was nothing, showed me I couldn't be anything, gave me a pattern of mediocrity. Now I'm so insecure that I'm trying to overcompensate every time somebody gives me an assignment. I just want my name called. Instead of understanding you're the body of Christ. Can I talk to you for a minute? Say we're the body. Stand up, Cromwell, as you will, please. Thank you, son. Cromwell. Come fill on your husband for me. Now, Doc, take this no further. Because she's about to touch you. All right? So watch this. Here's what I want you to do. I want you just to do this. See, I know they were going to be nasty. Maurice, I sensed the spirit of nastiness when they walked up there. I want you to do that. No. Like this. You do that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your hand on his pecs right there. Okay? Now. He like it too, yeah. Do this when we get home. So this time, though, what I want you to do, I want you to do it and do it slow. Go ahead, do it slow. Now, here's what I want you to keep doing it, keep doing it. I want you to feel there, though. You feel that moving more than this. But he's working his chest. And you know why? He's made no mind-muscle connection. This time, I want you to tell your pecs to not let your shoulders help you, and I want you just to squeeze your chest. Go. Full extension. Now you feel his chest though, because you made the mind-muscle connection. All right, but there's something else going on. It's called synergistic dominance, which simply means whenever one muscle is working, there is going to be an agent muscle that engages, because his shoulders automatically say, hey, that's too much for his chest. Let's get in there. You know why? Because it's called the body. And the body will never let one muscle work by itself. And you thought I was in the gym, but I was in the church, and you still ain't got it. That's why you're called the body of Christ. But our problem is we are acting like we're the limb of Christ. We're the foot of Christ. Thank you. That's enough. That's enough now. We're acting like we're the hand of Christ. We're the toe of Christ. No, we're the body. And we should never operate in isolation. And we should never let another member go through anything by themselves. That's why the Bible says the strong are to bear the infirmities of the weak. That's synergistic dominance. Does that make sense? That's your responsibility. And so when I see you not having capacity and bandwidth, it ain't my job to go tell Bishop. See? That's why I knew she couldn't do that no way. Because I can't tell Bishop that, because Bishop gonna check me. Girl, you see what Bishop got over there? I ain't gonna say nothing. But you see, don't you? Ooh, girl, what you laughing at? Nothing. Ooh. Watch this. Because she knows there's something about you that's just as nosy. And she gonna say nothing because she know you're gonna keep asking, what, girl? What? Girl, you were there. I know you heard such and such singing. Now, out of all the folk who could have sung that, don't let such and such sing that. Because you have forgotten that you're the body. And you have forgotten that you're operating interconnectively and not independently. But since we're so prone to operate independently, we don't know how to stay connected. Now, here is what happens, because now she's come and she's contaminated her, and now she is severing herself from the body because she's thinking independently. And now, because she's thinking this way, she operates this way. And when she's given responsibility, instead of her having some ally within the ministry that can help her become a better her, disciple her, or possibly become a disciple of her so they can work as a team, she's working by herself, but she doesn't have the capacity to do the job. And God will always send you an Aaron when you are a Moses. Moses, in this sense, is a metaphor for a leader because he knows you can't do it by yourself. Moses was great. He was a wise man. He was a courageous man, but he had a stuttering problem. And so his brother had to talk for him. God will always send you somebody who's strong where you're weak. But if you don't like people, if you don't want to connect with people, you're going to miss your connection. Now, I want you to get this because this is going to be very important. And I'm not sure this is in your notes tonight. I want you to write this down because if you're going to deal with the invisible, the first thing you're going to need to do is name it. You got to name it. Say, I've got to name my invisibles. Say, I've got to name my invisibles. Now, invisibles can show up as fatigue, misalignment, resistance, unspoken expectations, etc. But what I have to do is I have to name them. But I'll never be able to name them if I don't have the spiritual insight to see them, because they are what? Invisible. But they are existent. They're existent, but they are invisible. So here is what we got to do. Write this down. I'm going to give you 6 P's that's going to help you. 6 P's. Bishop, it ain't where you stopped last time. Well, I'm teaching. 6 P is going to help you. Here's how you name your invisibles. The first one is purpose. Purpose. Purpose is always going to keep me aware of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Here's what I'd ask you. Listen to this. If I ask you, while you're in that position you're in now, why you do it, what would your answer be? Because Bishop asked me to. And if you've been in the same position, you ain't gonna like this, for 30 years, you may be irrelevant. Watch this. Hold on, Bishop. I can't be in the same job. Yeah, you can. But if it's only you, you are irrelevant. Well, Bishop, you've been doing the same job 30 years, but I ain't been doing it by myself. If I tried to be a one-man show in the same position for 30 years, I'd be so irrelevant, we wouldn't grow, we would not be productive, which is why I surround myself with relevant people that can help me remain relevant. Does that make sense? So here's my question. Who's on your team keeping you relevant? Or do you put people on your team to keep you shining? Okay, that didn't soak well. Let me help you. When you choose people, do you choose them because they are just good workers and follow you? Or do you choose them because they have something you don't have? Or are you too intimidated to choose somebody who has something you don't have? You don't want your team members as leaders to be mediocre people, because grasshoppers can't armor bear giants. Abraham Lincoln, y'all know why we think he was the greatest president, because, how can I say this? Because of a lot of bureaucracy, he got the credit of freeing the slaves when he was actually a slave owner and didn't want us free, but we won't talk about that. But he was just in the right place at the right time, okay? But what made him such a great president is because he created what President Barack Obama copied in 2008. They called it a team of rivals. Know what he did, Deshalia? Everybody who opposed him, he chose them for his cabinet. Could you be so secure that you make your enemies your emissaries. Oh, that's the money. I wouldn't do that. That's what Jesus did. He put the dude he knew didn't like him over the money. He was called Judas and kissed him. Could you put Judas on your team, let him hold your prized possession, let him control the purse, and then give him some sugar? Or would you purposely choose Johns who are always up in your chest saying how much they love you? People who's always praising you will eventually become a problem for you. Hold on, not to that. No, because I ain't going to that place. I ain't saying they eventually going, no. I'm saying they're going to become a problem for you because they don't help present no problems for you. I said something and you missed it, so I say it again. People who's not a problem for you will become a problem for you because they won't ever present problems for you. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is you need some mavericks on your cabinet, in your team. Who's going to tell you no? Who's going to challenge what you say? Who's going to make you rethink some stuff? Who won't be yes people? Now, why did Abraham Lincoln do it, Deshalia? Because he understood just because I'm the victor doesn't mean I have all the ideas. Some of these guys lost, but they had good ideas. So let me bring their ideas to the table. Are you secure enough as a leader to let somebody come to your table who's smarter than you, more intellectual than you, more spiritual than you, more intelligent than you, more articulate than you, who has better ideas than you, and you not get intimidated by them? Well, you always got to overtalk them and shut them down. Well, you always got to find a way to beat them up. Why would you want mediocre people following you? Can I say something that's politically incorrect? But since we're in here, I think you can handle it. It's like a dwarf with a team of midgets talking about, I'm tall. No, B, everybody else just shorter than you. Am I talking? No. But that's what we do. We put people around us that don't challenge us. And I told you this before, in high school particularly, that's why the pretty girls always had an ugly girl. Seriously. Or some girl with a defect because it magnified their beauty. But you need people around you who pushes you. That's why I'm always trying to push you to the next level and tell you everything I know and polish you and shine you and making sure that I'm promoting you because it keeps me on my toes because I understand something. Not that I'm competing with you. You can't compete with me and I can't compete with you because our graces are different. But what I do know is if I'm going to remain relevant enough to continue to build you as you grow, I got to go further. And you need something and somebody that's going to cause you to become a better you. So I want you to write this down. This is going to be very important. Here is how you're going to get that purpose, because some of you are still saying, Bishop, I don't know my purpose. Write this down. You heard me say it before, but you got to write it today. You'll find your purpose at the intersection of your passion and your proclivities. Passion, what you love to do. Proclivity, what you are prone to do. Does that make sense? Which means some of you may be already in your purpose, you just hadn't labeled it properly. Write this down. You'll find your purpose at the intersection of your passion and your proclivities. What you love to do. Like some of you just love to work with children. Here's the crazy thing. That can come off antithetical as well, because sometimes the thing that agitates you is actually the thing that's calling you. So sometimes it ain't always what I love. Sometimes it's what I have a love-hate relationship with. Oh, I can't stand these children. Get on my nerves. Oh, I wish they went at this daycare. Oh, don't you touch my baby. Did you see that? It's love-hate. Because although you don't want to do it, you want to do it. And although you want to do it, you don't want to do it because it's love-hate. So you got a passion, but then you have proclivity. So it means sometimes I'm not in that field professionally, but I'm always somewhere doing it. Okay, so watch this. If my purpose is administration, but I'm working at Circle K, I'm the person that's always trying, no. Put the sugar over there. No, don't leave it like that. No, no, pick that up. That go over here. Lord, what you doing? Boo, you run the register, okay? But no, the reason you can't run the register is because you got a grace to run the store. And you can't stay in your lane if you wanted to. But the problem is you're frustrating everybody in the store because you won't go get in your right place. Am I helping anybody? So then that's the difference. Did they help you be between passion and proclivity? Okay, write this down. Oh, my time is gone. I'm done. Okay, write this down. Purpose gives pain permission to exist with meaning. When I'm in my purpose, I have an anesthesia that numbs me to my pain because I know it's necessary. Now, here's what I want you to do, and this can kind of be like a little homework assignment. Write your purpose down in one sentence, and if you type it up in one sentence. Write your purpose down. And if you don't know it, write NA, like you do an application. Non-applicable. Watch this, though. Here is how you'll know purpose again. Please write this down. Write this down. Yeah, Lord, I'll say that. Write this down. One of the ways you know you're in purpose, Evelyn, is because you'll do it even when no one calls your name and there's no pay attached to it. Did you catch that? Which means I know I'm in purpose when I don't care about recognition or recompense. What do you have in your life that speaks to that? Write down the word priorities. I'm going to give you all 6, but I can't elaborate because, again, my time is gone. The first one was what? The second one is priorities. Priorities is what matters most to you right now. Shay Reed Superstar, here is where you'll get it twisted. Because you know what God called you to do 20 years ago. Matter of fact, some of y'all had those real experiences, looked at your hands and they look new. Your feet did too. I looked like the same dude when he called me. I ain't have no angels or nothing like, I didn't get out. Some of y'all did for real though. Some of you had an experience. And that was 20 years ago. And the world has changed drastically in the last 20 years. And so, Skeeter, even though it was what you were called to do 20 years ago, here's the thing. You keep doing it right now and trying to do it, and you don't feel it, but because you want to be consistent, or because you believe if God told me to do it, I got to do it, so I keep trying to do it. But I'm not productive in it. It ain't working like it did 20 years ago, but I'm still trying to force it, and I'm trying to do it. I break down, I burn out, I'm depressed, but I'm still trying to do it. And nothing is happening. Could it be that what you were called to do 20 years ago has shifted and now you're called to do something else 20 years later? Could that still be God? Of course it can. Because God is a God that changes not, but you do. And if the environment is changing, sometimes what he wants you to do is changing. And you cannot continue to use a typewriter in the 21st century. You didn't like that. You can't use a skateboard in a hoverboard society. You didn't like that. You cannot use an 8-track in an MP3 society. You didn't like that. You can't have a MySpace in an Instagram society. You got to shift. And you got to be open to change. Okay. So number 3 is process. And process asks this question: how will I get there? I gave you a homework assignment with purpose, didn't I? Here is your homework assignment with priorities. Are you giving time to what actually matters? Ask yourself that. But process says how I'm gonna get there. What's your plan? What do you have in place in order to make it happen? Here's your homework for process. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing working? Or is it working against me? Because if you're depressed all the time, if you're frustrated, if you have no results, if you feel like breaking down and burning out, your process is not working. You need to find something else. I want to share something with you. Stop making abnormal things normal. It's not normal to always be angry. It's not normal to always be depressed. It's not normal to always be emotional. It's not normal to always be filled with anxiety. That's not normal. Jesus said multiple times, I want your joy to be full. And you got to find these invisible underworkings and undercurrents that's literally robbing you of it. Number 4, people. This is the challenge for the misanthropes. People says, who's involved? In other words, who's called to hold my ladder while I climb? And here is your reflective question or your homework with people. Ask yourself this question: am I partnering with people based upon familiarity, based upon a need, or based upon my assignment? Familiarity, need, or assignment? In other words, because they're there, familiarity. Need, because I just needed some help and you the first hands I saw. Or do I truly feel you are assigned to me? Number 5, problems. One ways be, I'm gonna throw this in too, you know, your purpose is because it becomes a pain point for you. Whatever causes you pain. Not pain in the sense where it's stabbing you, but the thing that bothers you. Like when you see people and the underdog ain't winning. That's a pain point for you. And it'll draw you into that. That lets you know that's your purpose. Does that make sense? But problems, here's the thing. Write this down. What problems or challenges can I expect? Because they're going to be problems. Say this with me. Say one of the reasons I know, I'm going to say it so everybody can say it. One of the reasons I know there are going to be problems in my assignment is because my assignment is to solve a problem. And so here is your reflective question for your homework for number 5. Am I solving problems or am I just silencing symptoms? Bishop, break that down. Okay, I'm glad you asked. Am I sweeping, mopping, and vacuuming, or am I just getting piles and sweeping them in the closet? Number 6, and this is the final one, progress. How will you measure success? How will you know when you've become successful? I want you to do this, and this is going to be a 2-step reflective thing here in your homework, and I'm done. I want you to write down 3 progress markers for your life so you'll know if you've really been successful. All the stuff you said you were going to do on December 31, 2024, so you'll know if you've really hit some of these marks, okay? I want you to write down the word spiritual, the word personal, and the word organizational. And I want you to be real with yourself. Nobody has to read it but you and God. Be real with yourself. What do my markers tell me? And how does it measure me? Where am I really in this season spiritually? Where am I really personally? And then organizationally. Does that make sense? And last but not least, here's the second part of it. Does your definition of success for your life look like God's definition of success for your life? And if it doesn't, it's time to tear down so we can build back up. These are the invisibles, not the visible things we do in how we talk, how we dress, how we interact, how we conduct ourselves. These invisibles will determine the sustainability of the visible assignments that you have. In closing, say, Lord, give me the grace to manage my invisibles so I can visibly have victory in the position that you've assigned to me. Give God praise if you love him. Listen, were you blessed today? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Well, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes for this. Questions, comments, or concerns. Whether it's germane to this or interconnected to it or totally off subject, again, this is your opportunity to be able to have those particular questions answered. Anybody? Anybody? He said, amen.
My question is,
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
It's the first one right here.
so my question is, you know why I work Sam's Club.
Mhm.
I was at a decent position, but I took, not knowing, but I took a pay cut.
Gotcha.
I thought we got an understanding. So I ended up taking a pay cut. So I'm in another place, in another part of the store that doesn't pay as much. And I'm literally getting drained from, like, cause nothing's changing. And like my mind has literally shifted in the the last week or so, right?
Mhm.
So what do I do to get to that next level to where my mind is?
Well, you know, honestly, what I thought you were going to say was you've been shifted in your positioning, took a pay cut, but you enjoy what you do. Because that could have denoted purpose. When you do what you've been called and purposed to do, you never have to work again a day in your life because it ain't work, because you're in purpose. And so sometimes money won't be a factor because you'll be compensated down the road and in other ways. Now, in your case, I'm going to say something that's very pragmatic, but I'm so serious about it. You've got to ask to be transferred, because what you've done is you've gotten in a position where you don't have bandwidth and capacity, and you don't have any joy for it, which speaks to the fact that you are totally out of alignment and you're doing something you're not graced to do. Because if you were, you'd still have inner joy in it. But you don't have joy. They've taken some of your money and you're literally feeling like you're about to collapse in it. Get out of it as soon as you can. Make sense? All right. Anybody else? In the back.
Thank you, Bishop. I'm enjoying you talking about the different spirits, going back to spiritual gifts and all these things.
Mhm.
When you said collapsing spirit, which kind of what he was just mentioning, I'm glad that we're learning to name the spirit,
Mhm.
because sometimes we think things are just the devil or is something natural, but it's actually spirits.
Mhm.
And once we learn how to know and recognize spirits, then we're able to deal with the spirits that's bothering us.
Most definitely. And let me say this, a spirit, guys, is a disembodied, a demon rather, is a disembodied evil spirit personality. A lot of stuff that we name as spirits, you won't find in the Bible, but yet we give it the name based upon the characteristics sometime of an individual, characteristics of traits, personality traits that we have seen, or patterns that the scripture has given, okay? Because you'll never see, I think it's a good example. You'll never see the spirit of Python in the Bible. It's called the spirit of divination. But the Greek word pution, where we get Python, which is a serpentine spirit, and the characteristics of it, because it is very stealthy and it comes in, slithers its way, and tries to squeeze life out of you. You will never see the spirit of Jezebel, but you will see Jezebel. You'll see it in Kings, and you'll see it in Chronicles, and you're going to see it in Revelation. And it takes upon it the characteristics of this person, and the spirit then becomes an embodiment, if you would, and that's a bad word. It becomes a representation of that individual, and it has those characteristics that it influences other people with. Make sense? So you just think we're in here by ourselves. You don't get no mic. It's just when you get inspired, you just go to talking. Go ahead. I just said she don't care who had their hand up first. You just go talking. Go ahead, baby.
I was wondering about the anxiety and the anger and not liking people, always. I was wondering about the anxiety and the anger and not liking people and always angry and all that, because sometimes I just can't control it, and I was like, how do I deal with that?
Well, I could give you a lot of different practical exercises to be able to control it. But what I tell people all of the time is the first thing you got to do is get out of the mindset that you can't control it. What we've done is we have warped our psyche so into believing we can't control stuff, because that's our ability to relieve our tension and causes us not to have to accept responsibility for our actions.
What about the being emotional all the time?
And the same thing. And sometimes the emotionalism that we're prone to project comes from systemic issues, the environments we come up in. Our family may have been the same way, generational things that we've seen. That's how we were allowed as children to throw tantrums, to get mad, to be frustrated, to tear stuff up, to get emotional. But you got to retrain yourself. And you got to tell yourself, this is not how I'm called to act. This is not what I'm supposed to do. And one of the ways to do that is to remind yourself that this is not God's will for you, and this is not what I'm supposed to do. Here's one thing, baby, I'm sure you can attest to. When you get like that, because you are a believer, because you love the Lord, when you get like that, even in the moment, you may, as some of us say, we see red and we don't care, but when it's over, you start feeling bad. That's how you know you're not supposed to do that. And if you learn to get ahead of it, instead of post-issue sorrow or remorse, but think before you act, you can start controlling. So there is nothing in any of our lives beyond our control. That's why he made us a free moral agent, and that's why you have free will. It's your choice. Nobody in here is doing anything you don't want to do. If you smoking, you want to be a smoker. If you drinking, you want to be a drinker. You cussing, you want to, whatever it is you're doing, you want to do it. Like me, love me, I'm going to tell you the truth. All of us, we're responsible for us. And until you accept the responsibility for your growth, you won't grow. All right? Did I answer your question, baby? Because you look at me like, I ain't want to hear that. You good, or you want to fight? You all right? Look like you ready to do something to me. Good God, okay. Y'all hug her for me. Give her some love, please. Y'all get a baby some love for me. Go ahead. No. I was trying to give some love. No. Please, Chris. Please, yeah. Come on, hug her, and come give me a hug too, baby. Because I promise you, I wasn't beating you up. My words were for the greater aggregation. Come give me a hug. Come give me a hug. You good. Y'all celebrate it. Y'all just gonna look at her. Give me a hug, mama. And you're gonna be better, you hear me? You're gonna do good, I promise you. You believe you are? And can I tell you why I believe it? Because you care enough to even cry right now, which means you understand it, all right? Y'all give us some more love, y'all. Come on. Okay, last one, Pastor Clark, come on.
With spirits, because you not only tell the different spirits by the action, but also by the smell?
Yes, there are. Let me. I got to talk about this real quick. There are certain spirits that carry certain odors, but they don't carry certain odors. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. If a spirit carried an odor it would have to be corporeality or have to be flesh, have to be a person. But what happens is, many times that spirit was on somebody that you were familiar with that had an odor. And now when that spirit manifests, it triggers the trauma. Because trouble don't last always, but trauma comes and stays a while. And it triggers the trauma, and now the smell comes back. Does that make sense? Okay, well, that's okay, but just know a demon ain't no person. Now, a demon gets in people. And remember this, guys, one of the reasons why you got power over demons outside of the fact that you have the name of Jesus is because a demon is an illegal alien. To be legally on the earth, you got to be born with an earth suit. The demon don't have a body. That's why he'll use anybody. Yeah. All right. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Oh, they had the hand up, but they said it was over, y'all. I love y'all.
Let's give Bishop a round of applause on this morning, guys.
You got a lot of ministers. Y'all handle that. Okay with that on that?
Final remarks?
Yeah.